Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. And that must mean that I am Professor Robert E.G. Black, and this is the Groundhog Day Project.
It's one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
It's a thing where the same day keeps happening.
Time.
I wake up every day right here, right in Punxsutawney, and it's always February 2nd.
The last revision is what counts, apparently.
Minute 31 of Groundhog Day as Phil, I don't know what you want to call this, he's giving a little monologue, testing his ideas off of Ralph and Gus, two drunk guys that are locals, sitting at the bar in the bowling alley. And then we go outside the bowling alley, and they're about to get in the car. And that's about it. We get some important dialogue in this minute, though. And some more song lyrics of the song you probably don't even notice, that starts with, here, by the rules, I want to tell you, then you took me round again. I believe that's the title of the song, is You Took Me Round Again. We get Phil continuing his little monologue. At sunset, we made love like sea otters. That was a pretty good day. Or pretty good day. He enunciates clearly on that one, because it's sort of showing his little pettiness and his hurt. He has that good day that's stuck in his head, and he's just trying to find that energy again, and he can't. No matter how many women he goes out with, no matter how many interns he picks up at the station, no matter what goes on here in Punxsutawney in the next several iterations of Groundhog Day for him, where he picks up Nancy and Lorraine and whoever else, it's never going to feel the same as that one that he has romanticized in his brain. Like, what does we made love like sea otters mean? Is it just because they were on the beach, or is he saying they're in the water? Where do sea otters make love? Or rather, where do sea otters have sex? Never mind that sea otters are violent. Otters are weird. They're like one of the only species other than humans that has, like, sex by force, I believe. And they have vicious fights with each other over territory. They're cute. You know, they're fuzzy and they float on their backs. It's adorable, but also they're violent little fuckers. The song lyrics continue. Round and round and round we go, even though my heart is breaking. Down and down and down I go, until you take me round again. You pick me up and take me round again. We've heard I Got You, Babe. That is the town of Punxsutawney, the state of Pennsylvania, the universe talking to Phil. This song is almost Phil's inner monologue. Maybe his shadow is saying this, or his shadow is talking about going out with Janine.
It's Joelle.
In the Virgin Islands, and eating pate. That's not in the movie, that's in the musical. And making love like sea otters. Outside, Phil is saying that, but inside, he is saying, even though my heart is breaking, until you take me round again, down and down and down I go. Like, he's being pulled down into himself and into a stupor, a depression, something. But he needs to be taken around again. He needs the time loop to keep going, because it's the only way it can get better. We don't hear it, but I do have more lyrics in my transcript here, but they're crossed out. Just in case you're curious, because there is more song, but we can't make it out. Why I still keep coming back instead of running, I don't understand. But I wait for your command, I play the game, even though it's just pretend, won't you take me round again? Round and round and round we go, even though my heart is breaking, down and down and down I go, until you take me round again. You pick me up and take me round again. Why do I believe you when you say you want me with you? I guess that deep inside I can't accept your love has died. I want to play the game, play it till the bitter end, let you take me round again. Take me round again, I'll let you take me round again, take me round again. So, nice little soft, quiet country song that is about a broken heart and wanting to get back together. But in this case, it's around again and around and around and around and over. It's repetitious, as songs are, but also it's the time loop. And Phil continues, why couldn't I get that day over and over and over? And then we get, I didn't look it up to double check. We get Gus, correct? Gus? Yes. Saying, and he points at his beer glass, which I would point out is not half full or half empty. It's about 40 to 45% full from the look of it. But that's just doing like a little nitpicky. But, he's making a good point here. Some guys would look at this glass and they would say, that glass is half empty. Other guys would say, that glass is half full. I peg you as a glass is half empty kind of guy, am I right?
Am I right or am I right or am I right? Right.
And then we get a close-up on Phil. What would you do if you were stuck in one place and every day was exactly the same and nothing that you did mattered? Cut back to Ralph and Gus. And everyone in the audience is like, yeah, that's called life. And then we get Gus takes a shot. You know, it's a lot, so he kind of bangs on his chest once. Like, that's his response to this question, is to take a shot. And then Ralph, like, takes a moment. He's thinking.
I'm thinking.
There's something existential going on in his stare for a moment. And then he just says, that about sums it up for me. Oh, this is such a great moment here. This line is perfect because it is exactly the thing. Phil thinks he's special. He still thinks he's special. He thought he was too good for his job. Now he thinks he's too good for a time loop. He's too good for punxsutawney. He's too good for life. And Ralph is like, no, that's just life, man. They don't say it like that, but we get it in the audience. We hear that about sums it up for me, and we're like, yep. It's called having a day job. It's called having to pay the bills, pay the rent, having to eat however many meals you get to eat in a day. While around the world, people are dying, people are losing their property, people are losing their homes, people are doing such horrible things, and people are doing great things too. I mean, that also affects the mundane parts of your life have to be weighed up against celebrities' lives that you see back in 93 when this came out. It'd be that you'd see on TV. Now it's that you see on the internet and TV. So you see what's going on in there, and you got the, FOMO, fear of missing out, or joy at missing out. I've seen that one as well, JAMO. Is it like there's this thing where we are spectators on so much outside ourselves that we are always going to be tempted or inclined to compare our lives to that stuff that we're seeing. And on the one hand, we shouldn't, because our lives are our lives. But also, we have to, because if there's something wrong with our life, whether it's too repetitious, too wrong, and not the way we want it to be, we have to see other people's lives in order to recognize that it's possible to have something else. And this is what is happening to Phil here. He has to be in Punxsutawney. He has to be stuck here for a little while so that he can recognize that there is more to life than whatever bullshit he's doing with his. He has to realize that he's not too good for this stuff. No one is. No one's above this. No one's above the repetition of the day-to-day. No one's above having to pay the bills, having to eat, having to go to the bathroom, having to look out for the people around you. I mean, yes, there's hermits who don't have to look out for people around you, except they do have to look out for people around them to make sure the people around them don't get close to their little hermit hut or whatever, wherever they're living out in the middle of nowhere, because that's going to fuck up their lives. So everyone has to pay attention to everyone else and do better. Treat people better. Cut 2. Exterior, bowling alley. This is that very bowling alley. It's in Woodstock. If you want to know the geography, if you were to go forward to the intersection and then go left, you would go one long block to the town square. And if you go right, you would go, I think it's one block, maybe two, but they're short, to get to the Moose Lodge, which is where they filmed The Banquet. And if you keep going straight, you would curve around past the gas station where Phil just was a few minutes ago. And to get to the Cherry Street, you would have to probably go back a couple blocks and go left, south. And that would be about a mile and a half. I'd have to double check, but it's about that. And other locations in the movie, the courthouse where the bar is on the town square. The Pennsylvania Hotel is in the town square. The diner's in the town square. Where else do we go in the movie? Mary's house is on the street going down to the Cherry Street Inn. Not on Cherry Street. Cherry Street would be the cross street. She's on the other street. And the tree that the boy falls out of is right, like one house away, two houses away from the piano teacher, Mary's house, on that same street. I don't know where else we get. I know where I got. When I was in town, I walked to the public library because they have a bunch of stuff from Groundhog Day, the movie production, on display. I went to a Buddhist temple that was only like a block off the square, maybe 2 blocks off the square, and looked at some stuff there and talked to the person there about it. Read the blog, man. February 2014, I talked about all this stuff being there. But anyway, we get some dialogue here as Gus says, "Good luck, I'll drop you off." No, this is Ralph saying this. "Good luck, I'll drop you off." I think it's ADR'd, like he's not really saying this first part of the line. But then he goes to try to open the passenger door. He's like, this thing sticks a little bit. And he is so drunk that he cannot open that handle, and he's kind of losing his balance the more he tries to lean in and do it. And it's great physical comedy. As he says, you got to jiggle it. And he's fallen. And he's falling right into the next minute, because that is the end of minute 31, and that's all I got. Until the next episode, take care, watch some movies or whatever it is that you do for fun. Whatever makes your life more palatable, more doable.
Knew you were going to say that.
This has been a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find links to more at lemmingdrops.com or join the Facebook group Lemming Drops Studio Tour. Also, you can support all my shows at patreon.com/lemmingdrops.
What is wrong in the end which never comes? Or which comes again and again, lapping, like waves.
Since the Big Bang set everything in motion, everything that happens in this universe has to be the way it is. Particles unfolding the way they're destined to.
How do you sleep at night? You've never seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah, you know Groundhog Day is not a documentary.
Remember when Groundhog Day was just a movie?